Good morning, everyone. I, Professor Dr. Divya Prakash, Dean School of Biological Engineering and Sciences, welcome you all in this live session on behalf of entire शोभित फैमिली। आज इस गणेश चतुर्थी के उपलक्ष्य में मैं शोभित परिवार की ओर से आप सभी को शुभकामनाएं देती हूँ और संकट मोचन से प्रार्थना करती हूँ कि वो इस संपूर्ण जगत का संकट शीघ्र हरण करने। हैप्पी गणेश चतुर्थी। Let us start to the session with Dr. Arun on topic assessment of arsenic in groundwater and its impact on public health. Dr. Arun Kumar is working as senior scientist in Mahavir Cancer Institute and Research Center, Patna, Bihar. He is also working as principal investigator of ICMR project and co-principal investigator in two international projects, DST UKIERI and DST NERC. He has subject expertise in groundwater modeling, arsenic estimation, and mitigation, that is, linkage between arsenic and cancer. He has more than 100 publications and 6 international book chapters in peer reviewed journal. Today, he will share his expertise and experience on the topic assessment of arsenic in groundwater and its impact on public health. Sir, let us start the session.
Yes, sure, ma'am.
Yeah. Sir, before starting the session, I would like to share one more thing. Actually, I did not work directly with you, but I'm damn sure that you are a reputed and most talented researcher. Do you know why I'm saying this very confidently?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
sir. Yes, sir. Actually, because your one scholar is working with us, Dr. Abhinav, and he is among the best faculty of Shobhit University. और सर जब आपका स्टूडेंट इतना टैलेंटेड है तो आप क्या होंगे इसका अनुमान लगाया जा सकता है तो सर विदाउट टेकिंग नो मोर टाइम डॉक्टर अरुण वी आर गोइंग टू स्टार्ट आवर फर्स्ट लाइव सेशन एंड द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम माय साइड डॉक्टर अरुण आई वांट टू प्लीज टेल मी अबाउट द आर्सेनिक एंड इट्स origin in groundwater.
Basically, if you say that, first of all, I am really thankful to madam and
Yes,
my student. I mean, now he is a faculty right now. I'm very much happy that Abhinav Shrivastava is a very good. Student. He was a very good student of mine.
So he's
and,
very talented.
Yeah, and
Really?
very talented. Very talented.
Yeah.
So I am really proud that he's right now as a faculty in your department, and it makes us very much proud that such a good student is now, teaching a lot of students, and he is sharing all his knowledge to the students and just motivating them to
Yes, sir.
go for more research and other things.
So I can understand.
really
This is a proud
thankful to-
moment, na? Ki when
really.
a teacher goes, ki his students is wonderful. That's a proud moment for a faculty also.
Very true, ma'am. Very
Yeah.
true. Now I think we can start the question.
Yeah, sure, sir.
With the-
I think so. I must ask the question again. Sir, we
So-
want to know about the arsenic and its origin in groundwater.
Okay. So basically, I think if I can make this understanding by some of the pictorial and other things, it will be better. And I have made some small presentation, and
Yes,
if I
sir.
can share that presentation, it will be
Exactly.
much. Yes. So can I start that with your kind permission, madam?
Yeah, sure, sir, sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
So can everyone see this picture?
Yes.
Madam, can you see, ma'am?
Yes, sir, sure. I'm watching.
Okay. Shall I start now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Very good morning to all of the students. And I'm just starting my slide with one of the famous historical, you can say this is the Gol Ghar called as the Granary
Gol Ghar.
House of Patna. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and basically this is also the land where the three religions had just a glimpse of the history that we are Patna, that is the ancient Patliputra with three major religions, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, having deep roots over here. And the famous great personalities of India like Chanakya, the great Ashoka, the Chandragupta Maurya, and the famous scientist Aryabhatta, who invented zero. So, and the famous our Ashok's emblem is all this place from this famous place called as Patliputra. So, I'm a great tribute to this state as well, from where I am as a origin. I am working over here. So let me introduce you to the topic in which I will be speaking. And I just wanted to introduce you that there are some environmental pollutants. And these environmental pollutants are chemicals that have ended up in the environment as a result of human activities and that are hazardous to health. And environmental pollutants, we have a lot of gases like NOx, SOx, CO, agropesticides, industrial waste, metal waste, acids, radioactive waste, and others. So this is causing a lot of health hazards in the human population. If we see the water, we have the 97% of water as ocean, 2% as frozen ice, and only 1% is usable. Now, the drinking water scenario, if you would like to see, globally, an estimated 1.8 billion people are drinking contaminated water. And around 46 million people in India, or the size of the population of Spain, are exposed every day to contaminated water, which could lead to serious health issues. And water as many as from 78,508 rural habitations. Habitations, you say, like it is just like tolas in the villages. Okay. So these are, I mean, contaminated by either arsenic, fluoride, iron, or nitrate. So if you see this arsenic in the world, basically, it is ubiquitous in the environment, and it ranks 20th in the abundance in the Earth's crust and 14th in seawater and 12th in the human body. That is why it is called as king of poison and poison of kings. So if you see the drinking water scenario for arsenic, an estimated 300 million people are exposed to arsenic worldwide. And in India, an estimated 70 million people are exposed to arsenic through drinking water. If you see the country-wise, there are around 70 countries which are affected with arsenic poisoning. And about 10 million people in Bihar are exposed to arsenic contamination. So if you see the natural arsenic levels, so in crystalline rock, we have an average 2 ppm. In soil, we have about 1 to 40 ppm. In groundwater, we have zero point 0.1 to 800 ppb, and as high as 40,000 in hot springs as well. Whereas in surface water, it has been found to be 2.38 to 65 ppb. So these are the 70 countries you can see over here, that these red spots you can see. So these red spots basically in all the continents in of our planet, you can see they are having the arsenic related problem in the groundwater. And if you see this Asian map, you can see all these red spots, which these red spots are the prone areas where the arsenic has caused a lot of health hazards in the population. This is basically the Ganga Meghna Brahmaputra plain, where more than 100 million people are affected with arsenic poisoning. So, right from the Gangetic plains, which is originating to the Bangladesh, where it is having the maximum problem. In our country, we basically have the states like West Bengal, Assam, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, and then we have Uttarakhand as well. And very recently, the Punjab and the other states like Himachal Pradesh, they have also now shown cases of groundwater poisoning in uh, due to arsenic. So basically, the question arises that how this arsenic came to the groundwater. So I
Yeah.
would just like to focus you that
Yes, sir.
the
Actually, this is the
yes,
main
ma'am.
thing when you were telling us that I want to ask. तो आप खुद ही बता रहे हैं. That's very good.
Yes. So
Okay.
this is basically the question number one, which Madam had asked me, that how
Yeah.
this arsenic and its origin in groundwater. So basically, this is the Great Himalayas. Since many years, I mean millions of years, when the Earth crust was being, it was being in the primary phase. So during that time, when the entire region was called as the Tethys Sea, and when this Gondwana land it got, with connection with the Eurasia, and this Great Himalayas was erected. So during that, in the Tethys Sea, there was hotbed of arsenic. Now, when the Himalayas grew, so along with that, this entire arsenoparite, which is the major ore called as, also went with the rocks, and it was in the rocks for many years. Now, what happened that when there was ice age, it was, capped over there, and when during you can say the dinosaur age, during that time, most of the when the this temperature rise of the in the basically of the earth. So during that, these got melted, and they were in the form of rivers and the streams, and came down and met the many of the, you can say, the Bay of Bengal and others. So basically, you can say through the channels like the major rivers like River Ganges, or you can say the other rivers which are coming from the Great Himalayas, are having lot of arsenic load. Now, this arsenic load basically, was deposited in the sediments where it flowed, and it was in the segment for many years. Now, since we were in before 1980s, we were having lot of well water. We were using well water for drinking purposes, and there was no other source on which I mean, uh, uh, we were relying. But after 1980s, the problem, came in light. How it came in light? You can see that in before 1970s, people used surface water, and due to poor quality and due to pollution, there were high prevalence of waterborne diseases, and high infant and child mortality was there. But after this, sorry,
Yeah.
there was a, uh, demand for pathogen-free, safe drinking water, and the best option was groundwater. So millions of tube wells were installed, and there was a significant reduction of infant and child mortality, and groundwater became widely popular. And problems arose due to arsenic contamination and affected various parts of the country, and that caused the health-related issues in the population. You can see this map of Great Himalayas. This is watershed area, and basically you can see the major problems which in the recent times has come is in these areas only, like the Indus Valley, this Gangetic Plains, as well as your Brahmaputra Plains. So these are the areas not only in India, as well also in the Pakistan, in China, and Myanmar. These are the eastern Himalayas, which is having the river flows. So the maximum problem has been observed in these areas only. So these are the Indian subcontinent areas where the arsenic has caused a lot of arsenic poisoning in groundwater, like in Pakistan, this is in China, and there is Myanmar, Thailand, Cambodia, Sumatra, and other islands as well. So this is mighty river Ganga,
Gangoh.
and in Bihar we have various streams. Various rivers. Basically, you can say there are 7 major rivers which are coming from Great Himalayas, like Gandak, Budi Gandak, Bagmati, Kamla, Kosi, and Mahananda. Apart from that, we have Ghagra and the major river Ganges. And Son is the only river which is coming from the south, and many more smaller rivers which are coming from the south. So if you see the arsenic map of Bihar with these river basins, you can see these are the various 18 districts which are being right now affected with groundwater arsenic poisoning. So Buxar, Bhojpur, Patna, and Munger, Bhagalpur, Katihar, Purnia, Kishanganj, Supal, Madhubani, Darbhanga, Samastipur, Vaishali, Muzaffarpur, and Saran. And there are some more reporting that right now the Siwan, Gopalganj, East Champaran, and Sitamarhi and Shivar are also the districts which in the recent times are having the arsenic related problem. Even Saharsa and Madhepura as well. So we see that the 19% of Indians drink water with lethal levels of arsenic, and this is causing a major problem for the population. And the basically, you can say what are the limits if we say for the arsenic. The WHO tolerable intake level is 3 microgram per kg body weight per day. The drinking water, it is 10 microgram per liter, and for air, it hasn't been established right now. So this is for the arsenic, and the major sources of arsenic affecting human health. So basically, the arsenic is ingestion routes are basically through the drinking water, irrigation water, food chain, and burning of cow dung cakes by the village people, and that is also causing the major problem. So basically, if you say the distribution, I mean, it is the fifth question, that how this is causing impact on human health. So I am coming on that, that bound to the red blood cells and the globulin, and then it is redistributed into the liver, lungs, and spleen, binds to sulfhydryl containing proteins, long-term distribution and high concentration in bone and keratinized tissues, and hair and fingernails like the Mies lines. So the highest levels it is being found in the nails, hair, bone, as well as the vital organs of the body. So excreted basically primarily via urine and the fecal excretion, which is very, very low. It has been also seen that the prenatal exposure to arsenic through placental transfer can cause marked damage to the fetus. And hence, we can say that it crosses the placenta and it is causing the stillbirth in the population. If we see the chronic impact of the arsenic exposure to the population, it basically causes peripheral neuropathy, cardiorhythmias, prolonged QTNBF, hepatic and renal damage, black foot disease, cancer, as well as pregnancy. So arsenic, if you see the human exposure, so an average 20 microgram per day from food and water, background it is still 0.1 microgram per meter cube, and drinking water usually more than 5 microgram per liter. So food usually people are having more than 10 microgram per day. So, but the WHO guidelines are up to 10 ppb, or you can say the 10 microgram per liter. But now you just see how the things are changing in the population in the Australia, Canada, and US. So, in a recent research, it has been found that if a subject is consuming arsenic contaminated water, even 2 liters a day, so how much at the cancer risk he is right now? If you see, if he is drinking even 10 ppb, so the cancer risk is 1 in 500. And if he is consuming 550 ppb, it is 1 in 100. So I have personally seen that in the villages, people are even consuming more than 1000 ppb. You can just imagine at how much risk they are right now for the cancer. And even arsenic has caused a child intelligence a problem, because even the pregnant mother, if she is consuming even 5 ppb arsenic contaminated water, she is definitely going to have a lot of problems for her children, I mean the child, because that is going to cause your low intelligence and low memory and the other things as well. So you can see, I have personally, I have one published article just last month, which shows that in the children, they have the low intelligence as well as the low IQ and the low memory due to arsenic poisoning. Because the students were drinking at least 735 microgram per liter contaminated water, and that was causing the major problem in them. So apart from that, I have personally seen various arsenic poisoning related diseases in the population, like arsenicosis, abdominal pain, dehydration, nausea, vertigo, gastritis, loss of appetite, constipation, diarrhea, bronchitis. And in the cancer, I have seen skin cancer, bladder cancer, kidney cancer, gallbladder cancer, and even lung cancer, very common in this particular area. And apart from that, most of the, population had general body weakness. They also had the low immunity and anemia. Some had asthmatic or recurrent cough and infertility, as well as the thyroid disorders. Now, the question arises that the mechanisms, what could be the reason behind that? So, since the students are basically from the biotechnology, I think they should know that how the things are occurring in the body. So basically, within the body, if you say the arsenate is converted into arsenite and then into methyl arsenic acid, and that is converted into methyl arsenous acid, and finally into the product named as DMA, that is dimethyl arsenic acid. And according to the WHO, this is also a category 1 carcinogen. So this is also going to cause the problem in the long run if the subject is exposed for longer duration. So basically, arsenic has the affinity to bind with the sulfhydryl groups. And these sulfhydryl groups basically alters the epidermal keratinocytes, and that causes leukomelanosis or spotted melanosis. And furthermore, it causes keratosis of the skin. And in the skin, it is mostly observed in the keratosis of sole as well as the keratosis of palm. So it looks like this. Basically, if you see in the population, they have the nodular like structures in their sole as well as in the palm. So basically, it is very hardened, you can say, the thickening of the skin. So it also, arsenic also affects the 5 steroid hormone receptors like estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, glucocorticoid, and mineralocorticoid. So I would also like to share you that in the population, it is causing a lot of problem, like it is acting like a xenoestrogen, and it is causing a problem in the women as well. Because the women, basically, I can say because they are having the estrogen hormone, and the male also having the defect in the testosterone levels. So that is causing infertility in the population. That means you can say the fertility rate in the exposed area, arsenic exposed area, is getting lower and lower. Arsenic also affects the other nuclear hormone receptors like retinoic acid receptor, thyroid hormone receptor, and PPR receptor. So most of the research papers, if you will see in the last 2 years, they are deciphered. They have deciphered that arsenic has causing problem related to thyroid disorders. If you ask 10 women or 10 people in the arsenic exposed area, 6 of them will say that yes, I have the the thyroid related disorder. And PPR receptors basically are the is for the diabetes. It is if you, in recent times it has been said that diabetes is caused in the urban area, but no, I would just like to give you a light that information that PPR is now, I mean diabetes is now also in the arsenic exposed area. So apart from this, the pathological mechanism involved in arsenic causing cardiovascular dysfunction also. So that means it is producing free radicals, and it is you can say the causing problem in the calcium channels, and that is causing the disease like cardiovascular disorders like atherosclerosis, hypertension, and ischemic heart diseases. So apart from that, this is the basic Huntertal map, which so schematic diagram, which shows that it is also affecting the various genes. So there are P53, NF kappa B, RAS, SRC, EGF. There are various genes. So it is altering the genes and causing the proliferation. Apart from this, the question which was there from the local people that they always feel that they have the general body weakness. So I personally found that the glycogenolysis cycle is hampered by this arsenic, because it you can say the abrupts the function of the ATP synthesis. So if you see the arsenic which is blocking the gene function, so normal gene activation is through this channel, this pathway. But now you can see the gene activation is inhibited by arsenic in this particular. So it binds with the receptors, and you can say inhibits the function of the genes. So that is why the desired proteins which are required for the function, that you can say the metabolic function, are disrupted by the arsenic. So basically, the arsenic is also causing the oxidative DNA damage, activation of transcription factors, and this is leading to chromosomal aberrations as well as interference with the cellular signaling, and then alteration in gene expression, and that is going to cause the carcinogenicity in the exposed population. Just for an example, there is one squamous cell carcinoma of skin. which is basically the gene P16 responsible for causing the disease. So this is the normal pathway which occurs in a normal person, like cyclin-dependent kinase inhibitor 1B, and which arrests the cell cycle at G1S checkpoint. But when arsenic binds with the gene P16, it inhibits the cyclin-dependent kinase to work, and then finally the arresting of the cell cycle is hampered, and that is causing the carcinogenicity in the you can say the population. So various symptoms of arsenicosis, if you see, so this is your hyperkeratosis. You can see in this very hardening of the skin, which I had shown you earlier, and this
Yeah.
is the sole. This is the hardening, complete hardening of the skin. So it is. You can say she was the lady. She was drinking, consuming this arsenic contaminated water for 10 years. So 10 years of exposure you can see over here. So this is again the one lady, and this is called as Melano Keratosis. So this is also a major problem, and blackening of the thing with the along with the thickening of the skin. So this is called as melano along with keratosis. So leukomelanosis, you can see leuko means white spots along with the blackening. Over here, blackening skin. So there are spotted or the raindrop pigmentations also. You can see this raindrop pigmentation over here, over here. So basically, these are the primary symptoms you can see from the just through the visual method. You can see in the population that whether they are exposed with arsenic or not. So just simply you can ask the subjects to just show their palms as well as soles or even their body parts like the back or the stomach or the thorax region. They have the lot of raindrop pigmentation. So if they are exposed, I mean basically the raindrop pigmentation comes, and when the exposure is for longer duration, it is being exhibited in the sole as well as in the palm. And this is the Mies lines. This is very rarely seen in the exposed population. So this is around 10 or 12 years, we can say the population affected consuming the arsenic contaminated water, they are having these specific symptoms. So these are the skin manifestations which I shared with you, and there are a lot of cancer cases also. So just to give you a glimpse that cancer burden total worldwide, it is around 19.8 million, and 8.6 million is added new each year. In India, we have the 30 lakhs cases and new cancer cases every year 10 lakhs, and every year death is around 7.5 lakhs. So crude incident rate is around 44 to 96 per 1 lakh population. Now, a very major thing I would like to share with you that the problem related to the arsenic, if you say, we have the Indo problem like the Ganga Meghna Brahmaputra belt where the arsenic problem is there. Similarly, in South America, we have the Argentina and the Chile where the problem is very, very high. And unfortunately, both countries have the cancer incidences very, very high. Like you can say in the Gangetic plains, in the recent studies, it has been deciphered that the incidences has increased many folds in the Gangetic plains in comparison to the other states of the country. Similarly, in the Argentina and the Chile area, the arsenic has the major problem, and unfortunately, the cancer burden is also very high over there. So people, I mean, many of the scientists are trying to correlate that what is there in the Himalayan, you can say the area and the Andes area. So is there some similarity related to the arsenic and the cancer or not? It is still a major study which is going on. So let me take you. So there is another study which shows that Chile is the world leader with incidence figure of 9.7 new cases every year. And in India, it is around 4.5 cases per 1 lakh in male and 10.1 cases per 1 million in females. So if you see the gallbladder cancer incidences, you can see the red spots over here. And this is river Ganges, which is flowing from your north to east, from west to east. So these are the areas where the arsenic problem, and unfortunately, these are the areas where the cancer incidences has increased manifold. So incidence of cancer cases in Bihar, basically it is 75,000 to 80,000 new cancer cases every year, and 60,000 cases, I mean, person die every year. So if you see the Mahavir Cancer Sansthan cancer map, you can just see over here that these are the major areas where the cancer incidences are very high, like these, and Gaya, Nalanda, Samastipur, Begusara, all these areas. So unfortunately, the arsenic map is also over from these districts only. So if you compare with the arsenic map over this, so these are the similarities of the some of the districts where the arsenic as well as the cancer have the same reason.
Yes.
So cases in the different geological terrains I have studied, like one example, if you can share with you, very recent study which is in right now in the publication in the Nature journal, and where we have studied on the 2000 cancer patients, and in which we have observed 1213 cases in the female and 787 cases in the male. And you can see the major chunk of the age group you can see is between 31 to 70, and in the female male also it is between 31 to 70. So if we see the arsenic concentration in the blood samples of cancer patient, if we join the two, I mean the male as well as the female, so the normal cases, if you see between 0 to 10, although there is no such, you can say, the reference value for the arsenic in blood by WHO, it is being speculated that arsenic up to 10 could be a normal level. So we, according to that only, we have observed that up to 10 ppb could be the normal value. We have seen that around 800 people had, I mean, cancer patient had normal values, but still 1200 subjects had, I mean, patients had very, very high arsenic concentration. So there could be some correlation with the cancer as well as arsenic, since it is showing, exhibiting in the blood. So then we had the, you can say, the further, you can say, distribution of the cancer, like with their types, like the leukemias, lymphomas, and sarcomas and carcinomas. So for the carcinomas, we found that out of 2000, it was 1687. So major chunk of the disease burden is from the carcinoma, where we had the breast cancer, cervical, ovarian, and many more other cancer. Now the question in my mind came in the recent that what could be that why the carcinoma is more in the arsenic exposed area. So this is a major question which is hunting in my mind. See, just like in the skin cancer, we have the squamous cell carcinoma. For the bladder, which is very common, bladder cancer, which is very common in the arsenic exposed area, we have transitional cell carcinoma. The rectal cancer we have in the exposed area, we have adenocarcinoma. The lung cancer in the exposed area, we have adenocarcinoma. For the breast cancer in the exposed area, we have ductal carcinoma. Again, for gallbladder, we have adenocarcinoma. So there is somehow that people in the exposed, arsenic exposed area are more prone to get the carcinoma rather than the other diseases or the cancer type like the leukemias, lymphomas, or sarcomas. So very recently, we have made the 2000 cancer patients. You can see the spatial mapping, and you can see the major chunk of the people, the red spots with the areas. We can see the normal and very high is this deep pink color. So these are the area where the arsenic exposure is very, very high in this particular districts in comparison to the others. And this is the major river Kosi, which is coming from just from Supaul. And this is Gandak. So if you see the carcinoma, so you just see the carcinoma over here is the in the major chunk or just near the river basins. So that is, I mean, we are trying to correlate the arsenic with the cancer in the Gangetic plains. So this paper is under consideration in Nature, which is still in publication right now. So for leukemia, our other study sites we carried out in Buxar, in Simri. It is in the vicinity of River Ganges. This is the place we usually call that. This is the you can say the where the Lord Shri Ram got the knowledge in his ashram, that is Vishwamitra Ashram. So this is the place called as a Buxar. So this is the area where we had carried out the research, and we found that 65% of the village hand pumps had arsenic contamination, while only 35% had the normal arsenic levels. But you will see that the maximum level of arsenic concentration was 1929, which is still the highest ever reported in the state. So this is our published article, and another another part is that in the blood we have found the maximum level of 505 in the arsenic exposed population. So this is also, very, very high. It is not commonly reported in the population, because the people are consuming more than 500 ppb. It is quite possible that they are having so much arsenic concentration in their blood, because that drinking water is causing the problem. But apart from that, they're also having the food, which is also being irrigated with the same water, and that is also adding up the arsenic in their blood. So there were various problems related to hyperkeratosis, melanosis, skin problem, anemia, gastritis. So we had the population-based epidemiological study, and we found that there were various problems. But the incidence of skin-related manifestations were very lower in this village in comparison to the next village which we had studied. There were the mental disability cases as well, and cases of cancer, tumor development in the population. But this village, this is called as Tilakrakahata, had the major health-related issues in the population, where we had the 90% of the, the hand pumps had arsenic concentration more than the 10 ppb. So this is the village we had studied, and the maximum arsenic concentration in the village was 1908 ppb. And the people had the maximum arsenic concentration in their blood up to 664. Now, you can see over here that the skin manifestations were very, very high in the population in comparison to the first village. So this is very high. So we have, registered 12 cancer cases from these villages in last 4 years. So these were the typical symptoms of arsenicosis in this village, which I have already shared with you. And you can see the intensity or the magnitude of the disease in just a span of 4 years from this to this. So they were drinking around 857.1 ppb arsenic contaminated water, and they had the arsenic concentration in their blood up to 190.6. Similarly, in their similarly in their soul as well. And this subject died with the case urinary bladder cancer in 2019, unfortunately. And this is the lady. She was also consuming the arsenic contaminated water, 534.2, and she had the blood arsenic concentration of 54.9. She died with ovarian cancer in 2018. Savitri Devi, and these were her last. Can you hear the voice?
No, sir. Actually, her voice is not clear.
Okay.
We are unable to listen what she want to give the message.
I can just narrate that she's saying that she is having the problem, and she has having the full-blown stomach, and that is causing the problem, and the arsenic has caused the disease since last 2 years. She is having the problem. So that's what she's. You can see the typical symptoms in her this palm. You can see the symptoms, black spots. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I interviewed her just 4 days before when she died.
Oh.
This is the This is very unfortunate that the people are dying just because of this arsenic contaminated water. And this is Mangri Devi, and she died with stomach cancer. And the husband told that she died with blood vomits and in 2017. Sorry, 16. Similarly, in Vimla Devi, she's 65 years old, and she had this squamous cell carcinoma over here, and she was having this disease since last 9 years, and I also interviewed her. Since you won't be able to hear the voice, um, and then finally the hand was amputated. So this is the story. I mean, I'm very unfortunate that the people in India are still drinking the arsenic contaminated water, and that is having the problem. Apart from that, we had various studies in
Dr.
various
Arun, we want to
areas.
ask what the precautions we must take. Actually, now it's clear ki
Yeah.
the
So
arsenic contamination in
yeah.
our drinking water. So, what are the precautions we must take?
So basically, I would like now to say that how can we just prevent from the arsenic? Just I have one final conclusion to say. So
Yeah,
basically, it is a meteorite causing serious health hazards in the population, including cancer in Bihar and India. The subjects had very high arsenic contamination in their blood, and the females were more diseased than the male. The subjects exhibited typical symptoms of arsenicosis. So now the mitigation part, which is very important. You had the question that how we can prevent ourselves. So first
yeah,
is that we need to have the treatment of contaminated water, or whether the supply of groundwater having acceptable level of arsenic. We can also tap the surface water for the supply and even for the rainwater harvesting. So basically, just an example of this is the hallmark of the state, the heritage of Bihar. This is in the Bhojpur. Bhojpur was the first district in the state in 2002 where the arsenic problem was reported for the first time. You can say that in 2002 there was one village called as Simaria Ojapati, reported by Dipankar Chakraborty. That whole village was, I mean, the people, I mean, just left over the village just because of this problem. And 3 lakh population was exposed over here in that particular area. So basically, the government of Bihar had this solution for this. They tapped the river Ganges water, then they cleaned this water, and then through the pipe water system, they just had the this arsenic free water to 48 villages, and now there is no problem at all. The solution is there. So this is the biggest solution we can plan for any of the villages which is affected with arsenic. And apart from that, we there are various arsenic removal plant technologies like the adsorbent based ion exchange waste and adsorption. Even there are more like nano hybrid reverse osmosis as well as ceramic based technology, which is very commonly used in India. So there
yeah.
is one example of this reverse osmosis
Arun,
based method, which is being used by Professor Ashok Kumar Ghosh sir. He is our HOD. So he
yeah.
has installed this plant in one of the Haldi Chapra in Patna itself. There are 2 of
Okay,
them, and then through our initiation, the government of Bihar had the water ATM. Uh, but the thing is that now it is being no more in use just after 2 years. You can see the condition how it is. There is no maintenance, so no community participation. So that has caused problem in that. Now, since
okay,
this lady, since this lady was, diseased, and then we had the meeting with the entire villages, and there was one, a famous personality, Professor Arup Singh Gupta from Lehigh University, US. He came to Patna just for some work, and I met him, and myself and Professor Ghosar, I'm initiated to have this one plant in Buxar as a, you can say, the role model. And then we had through the Tagore Sen Gupta Foundation, through public participation, we installed this plant. And right now, the people are still drinking this arsenic contaminated water, and it is still in use. So since 2017. And now, after 1 year, we have found that there is a significant decrease in the skin manifestations like keratosis, melanosis, and other skin diseases. Now, the problem has reduced many folds in this exposed particular village. Apart from that, we had some collaboration with CGCRI, CSIR laboratory from Kolkata through Swachha Majumdar. And Dr. Swachha Majumdar was so kind enough that he donated 2 of his plants to one has been installed very recently, just in June 2000. January 2020 in Badka Rajpur in Buxar, as well as you can see this is the place where it has been installed, and another in Sabalpur village where we had a lot of arsenic related problems as well. which we reported in 2016 for the first time. So these two plants we have installed through our initiation.
Initiation.
Otherwise, the government, yeah, yeah. Otherwise, the government has done other things, but that is, you can just see that because they haven't involved the community participation, and that has caused, unuse of that. You can say the defunct of that plant.
Yes, sir.
Apart from that, the health camps are also very necessary, that the people are getting motivated and they are being called for
Aware.
the health camp.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that they can be aware that if there is disease, you can come to the hospital, any of the
And
cancer hospital, or even for any of their problem if they have. So
yeah,
we are regularly organizing this type of health camps in the exposed
so
population.
that's good, sir.
And we are, yeah, yeah, and we are also analyzing the hand pumps through the field test kits. So we
Good.
are, if somebody is having the say the arsenic contamination very high, then we can just suggest that yes, okay, just 50 meters away from your home or your house, there is another your neighbor who is having the arsenic contamination. No arsenic contamination is hand pump. You can use that water for drinking. So that is the major thing, that if you discontinue the arsenic contaminated water, obviously there will be no problem in. The problems will be reduced. But the thing is that they, through the same water, the fields are being cultivated. The irrigation is being done. So again, through the food chain, it is coming. But it
Yeah.
is possible that the food chain will be much reduced. Arsenic will be very much less in that, but still it is elevating the levels in your body, and it is causing the problem. So we are also educating the children, the village schools, so that still the children are aware about the how to discontinue the use of arsenic contaminated water. Anti-medicinal solution, which is very very important, that people are
Yeah.
thinking that okay, we have the problem, what should be the solution in
Solution.
the fund. Yeah, yeah. So we through the one of the prestigious project we received from the DST government of India, we had the animal study, and we utilized all the basic, you can say, the spices which we are using in our kitchen, like turmeric, amla. There are many mushrooms as well, ashwagandha, tulsi, which had very good impact on the arsenic exposed animals. So even Rakt Chandan, Charis longifolia, fennel, cumin, ajwain, coriander leaves, they had very good impact on the
Oh,
arsenic exposed rats. Yes. So when we, you can say, they induced the rats, we had around 22 medicinal plants in study, in which we had found 17 medicinal plants having very good antidote, antitoxic effect against arsenic. Five of them failed. I don't know why they failed. Maybe that they couldn't have any antioxidant property, or maybe having no such effect on the arsenic exposed animals. So they are basically again the same plants which are having very. So we have many times, said to the people that if you are consuming these specific medicinal plants, you will be eliminating lot of arsenic from your body, and that can reduce the disease burden in yourself. So apart from that, there is some ICMR trials which are going to be start. I was a part of these major trials because I had one
okay.
project in that, submitted in that, and but that hasn't been open till date. And but the government is saying that vitamin A, vitamin C, and vitamin E could be the probable antioxidants which can be used in the arsenic exposed population. And apart from that, the salicylic acid ointments can be effectively be having very good impact on the exposed part, the skin part. So that can be used for as an ointment. Yes. So I think I have the major presentation. Now I can
Yeah,
come.
sir. Thank you. I got a lot of knowledge. Actually, I have a lot of query, and the in comment box, many audience want to ask a lot of things, but as time is fixed, but I will ask one question. I think so. Mayadat Joshi want to ask how much is the contribution of chemical pesticides and fertilizer used in the agriculture, drained water to the heavy metal or arsenic uptake, leading to the cancer cases in people.
See, madam, basically, if you say that the pesticides which are being used in the arsenic exposed area, that is also adding a lot of burden in the like the cancer or the other diseases. So pesticides basically contain lot of chemicals. Even the, you say the like the chloropyrifos, or you can say the profenophos. They are basically the organophosphate group, or even the organochlorines. Basically, now they have been banned, like the endosulfan, which was widely used all over India. So basically, these organophosphates or the organochlorines, they are basically alleviating the disease burden. So definitely they are causing. But arsenic trioxide in some of the pesticides are also being used, which is, you can say they are uh, increasing the disease burden in the exposed population. It is quite possible, and that is
Yes,
why it is also causing a lot of cancer incidences in the
exactly.
population. Yes.
Sir, one more question. Actually, a lot of questions, but only one question I want to ask in the end. So, what is the organic arsenic? Vikas Pandey want to ask.
See, basically, there are two types of arsenic, which is found in organic arsenic, which we find is like this the in water we have the inorganic acid more, but in the plant product or even in the blood samples or even the human samples, if you say, we have the organic acid. To measure this organic acid, what we do that we do for go for the digestion, and that is called the acid digestion. And through acid digestion, in which we use basically the nitric acid as well as hypochloric acid. So this basically perchloric acid, sorry. So these two acids in combination, when we use, we basically, convert this organic to inorganic, because the machines which read these levels is in the inorganic form, like the atomic absorption spectrophotometer. I mean, there was one question from you
Yeah,
that
actually, yeah,
yeah. So yeah, what are the the machines which we use for the
arsenic.
estimation of the metals or the arsenic? So basically, we use atomic absorption spectrophotometer. There is another ICP-OES, that is optical emission spectrometer. Then also we have the ICP-MS, which is the advancer unit, that is mass spectroscopy. So these are the major, instrumentations in which we
Which
can
you
measure
can.
the heavy metals. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Arun. Actually, lot of questions, and for the audience, I want to say one message. If we are unable to give your, we are actually we are unable to answer your questions, so I will request to Dr. Arun that in future these questions I will ask to you, and I will drop the answer of particular that person. Thank you, sir. Uh,
You're most
thank you.
welcome, ma'am. And
Yeah,
thank you
Dr.
so much
Arun.
again for.
Yeah, sir. No, actually, I am feeling that it is a very good session for the welfare of the society. Thank you, Dr. Arun. Thank you, our audience. We will try to back you one more session, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
And
So
and one more
I can come.
request on this platform. I would like to one more request. Dr. Abhinav is trying to write a project on that ashwagandha and all things. Please mentor him.
Sure, why not? So
Yeah,
just I
yes.
want to share you that I got a very prestigious project from Indian Council of Medical Research,
Okay,
worth
sir.
1 crore rupees, 1 crore
Yeah.
5 lakh rupees. So
Okay.
for 3 years, just 3 months back only.
Okay.
So major breakthrough we received, and one of the major project we have applied through the University of York, UK, and we have applied one project on in Welcome Trust UK, through Welcome Trust UK, on bladder
Okay.
cancer. So
Okay.
there are a lot of opportunities we can have in the future aspects, and I really want that the younger students, the younger faculties, they should come and join hands, and we can have more collaborations, and we can have
So we will
more
do.
project writings.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, more
Yeah.
project
Dr.
writings we can.
Abhinav and Dr. Sneha, they will back to you, and they will try
Sure,
to write a project on that.
sure, man. Definitely, I will help them. No issues at all.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, sir. On behalf of entire Shobhit family, I'm very thankful to you.
Okay, man. Thank you, thank
Thank you,
you.
sir.
Okay, namaskar to everyone. Yes.
Namaskar, sir.